There is a strange kind of tiredness that sleep cannot fix. You wake up, you do what you're supposed to do. Life looks fine from the outside, yet inside, something feels heavy. Not sad, not broken, just empty. And this confusion slowly eats you alive, because when nothing is wrong, you don't know what to fix. Stoics spoke about this long before psychology existed. They understood something most people never realize. Mental exhaustion is not caused by effort, it is caused by inner conflict. You are tired not because life is hard, but because your mind is always resisting reality. Think about your days. You replay conversations. You imagine different outcomes. You worry about things that haven't happened. You regret things you cannot change. Your body is sitting still, but your mind is running non-stop. That constant inner noise is what drains you. Stoicism teaches a brutal truth. The mind suffers more in imagination than in reality. Most of your energy is not spent on living, it is spent on fighting what already is. You want people to understand you. You want life to be fair. You want the past to be different. You want certainty about the future. And every unmet expectation creates silent frustration. This is why you feel tired even on days when nothing happens. Not because you did too much, but because you demanded too much from reality. Stoics divided life into two simple categories: what you control and what you don't. But modern minds ignore this rule completely. You try to control how people treat you, how fast success comes, how others think, how life unfolds. And when control is impossible, the mind collapses into exhaustion. You were never meant to carry that weight. Marcus Aurelius warned against this centuries ago. He said, "You suffer only when you forget what is within your power, your thoughts, your actions, your reactions, nothing else." But instead of mastering these, you negotiate with chaos every day. You explain yourself to people who don't listen. You argue with reality instead of adapting to it. You relive pain instead of releasing it. This is not sensitivity. This is mental leakage. Your energy is leaking everywhere. Stoicism does not teach motivation. It teaches containment. To stop wasting emotional energy on battles that cannot be won. That's why Stoics appear calm. Not because life is easy, but because they stopped arguing with what they cannot control. You don't need a new routine. You don't need motivation. You don't need to escape your life. You need mental boundaries. To say, this is not mine to carry. This is outside my control. This does not deserve my energy. The moment you stop emotionally reacting to everything, your mind begins to rest. Peace is not achieved by fixing life. Peace is achieved by reducing resistance. This is the Stoic secret. They didn't chase happiness. They removed disturbance. They didn't ask, how do I feel better? They asked, what am I unnecessarily fighting?
And when the fighting stopped, clarity appeared. Strength returned. Focus returned. Energy returned. So if you feel tired of life even when nothing is wrong, you are not broken. You are simply over-engaged with things that don't belong to you. Release them. Control what is yours. Let go of the rest. That is not weakness, that is wisdom. And once your mind learns this distinction, life stops feeling heavy. There is something even more dangerous than being tired. It is becoming used to being tired. When exhaustion becomes normal, you stop questioning it. You call it adult life. You call it responsibility. You call it stress. But deep down, you know something isn't right because your body rests, yet your mind never does.
And here's the hidden habit that keeps you mentally drained. You are constantly evaluating yourself through other people's eyes. Every conversation, you replay it later. Every mistake, you magnify it. Every silence, you interpret it. You are not living. You are monitoring yourself. Stoics warned about this invisible prison. Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Read that again. Be content to be misunderstood. But modern minds cannot tolerate this. You want approval. You want reassurance. You want to feel validated. And this endless need creates constant internal tension because approval is unstable. It changes with moods. It changes with opinions. It changes with people. So your peace becomes unstable too. This is why you feel mentally exhausted after simple social interactions. Not because they were intense, but because you were performing. You were adjusting your tone, filtering your thoughts, predicting reactions. That silent performance is energy-consuming, and the worst part, most of it is unnecessary. Stoicism teaches emotional independence, not isolation, not coldness, independence. The ability to say, "My value is not decided here," but you've been trained to measure yourself constantly. Likes, replies, attention, approval, even silence feels like rejection, so your nervous system never fully relaxes. You are always on, and when the mind is always on, it burns out. Marcus Aurelius wrote privately to himself, "Do not be overheard complaining, not even to yourself, because the constant internal commentary is what keeps the mind noisy." You think you are tired because life is demanding, but often you are tired because your mind is over-commenting, judging, comparing, predicting. You don't experience moments directly anymore. You analyze them. This is why even calm days feel heavy, because the noise is internal. Stoics practice something radical. They detached from the need to be seen correctly. They focused on character, not reputation. Character is within control. Reputation is not. The moment you switch your focus from "how am I perceived" to "am I acting with integrity?" your energy stabilizes, because integrity does not depend on applause. And here is the uncomfortable truth. You cannot feel mentally strong while emotionally depending on approval. Strength requires self-trust. Self-trust requires silence. Silence requires letting people misunderstand you, and that is where most people quit. They would rather stay exhausted than risk being disliked. But Stoicism is not comfortable. It is freeing. If you want your energy back, stop performing. Stop editing yourself. Stop seeking subtle validation. Do what is right. Say what is true. Accept that not everyone will clap. Your mind will resist this at first, because it is addicted to evaluation. But slowly, as you withdraw from unnecessary emotional engagement, you will notice something powerful. Your thoughts slow down. Your reactions soften. Your exhaustion decreases. Not because life changed, but because you stop carrying invisible weight. And that is the beginning of real mental freedom. If you are serious about building emotional independence and mental discipline, subscribe to Daily Stoic Wisdom for deeper long-form teachings. Strength is quiet, and it begins within.